Blessed Emily Bicchieri was one of the early fruits of the Rosary. Emily was born in 1238 to a wealthy family just 30 years after Our Lady gave Saint Dominic the Rosary. Emily was just a child when her mother died. In her sorrow, she turned to her Blessed Mother and asked her to be her mother. Of course, Our Lady said yes. Although her father planned marriage for her, she had already given her heart to Jesus. Her father became even more protective after the death of her mother and initially objected to Emilia becoming a nun. He eventually realized her true calling and funded the construction of the Dominican monastery, St. Margaret, in Vercelli, Italy. Emilia entered the abbey as a Dominican nun at age 18. This would be the first community Dominican Third Order sisters, and like the brothers, Emily and her sisters all girded their habits and their souls with the Rosary. From 1273, she became elected prioress of the monastery, guiding the community to a great union with God. Her motto was, "Do everything for God alone." She was very devoted to the Eucharist and to the Virgin, and she sought to infuse these devotions to her fellow sisters too. She prayed and did penitence without withholding any sacrifices and burdens in order to help the others. With her authentic evangelical testimony, she was able to draw souls into the love of God. Enamored by the Passion of Christ, she did not cease to urge everyone to meditate on it and to take it as an example for spiritual growth and as a font of grace. She was repeatedly chosen to serve as prioress of the house, but repeatedly refused and concentrated on menial domestic service to her sisters. She finally became prioress in 1273. During Emilia Bicchieri's tenure as prioress at the monastery of St. Margaret, a strict rule was in place that prohibited drinking between meals without explicit permission from the prioress, which was rarely granted. This rule aimed to unite the nuns with Jesus' suffering from thirst on Calvary. One day, a nun named Cecilia Avogadro approached Emilia to request permission to drink. Emilia, adhering to the rule, did not grant her request. Accepting this as God's will, Cecilia endured her thirst as a form of sacrifice. After Cecilia's death, she appeared to Emilia in a vision, radiant with glory. She thanked Emilia for encouraging her to embrace that mortification, explaining that it had significantly shortened her time in purgatory. Without this act of penance, Cecilia's attachment to her family would have prolonged her purification period. Blessed Emily had a beautiful devotion to the Blessed Sacrament, and several miracles involving the Eucharist are attributed to her. One such miracle occurred when she was tending to ill sisters in the infirmary and arrived too late to Mass to receive communion. She knelt down in prayer, and an angel came to her to administer the Holy Eucharist. On another occasion, her duties in the infirmary prevented her from making the long thanksgiving after receiving communion that she desired. After attending Mass, she went back to the sick sisters and said to them, "I am not alone, my sisters. See, I bring Jesus to bless you." At that moment, the 3 ill sisters were miraculously cured of their infirmity. Along with the Eucharist, Blessed Emily had a particular love for the crown of thorns. The relic of the crown of thorns was brought from the Holy Land around the time of Emily's birth, and it was likely that she grew up hearing about it. She received the stigmata in the form of the wounds our Lord received from the crown of thorns. This suffering and grace lasted for 3 days, and during this period, she received apparitions from several saints associated with our Lord's sufferings. On May 3, 1314, Blessed Emilia Bicchieri passed away in Vercelli. She was interred at the Santa Margherita Abbey, which she had devotedly served throughout her life. Her relics were later enshrined in the Cathedral of Vercelli, where they continue to be venerated today. Blessed Emilia Bicchieri's holy and virtuous life has been an inspiration to many throughout the centuries. Her beatification took place on July 19, 1769, when Pope Clement XIV confirmed her cultus recognizing her as a blessed within the Catholic Church. Today, Blessed Amelia Bicchieri's example of selfless service, deep prayer, and devotion to the Eucharist continues to inspire individuals to grow in their faith, love for God, and dedication to their communities. She stands as a testament to the profound influence one person can have when wholly surrendering themselves to God's will.